international educator.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned to Edu Channel. First, let's have a look at our daily educational news briefs. Most public universities and technical institutes in Kenya have been forced to cancel or postpone their end of semester examinations. This comes after all learning institutions were ordered to close down on March 15th this year to ensure learner safety in the wake of COVID-19 crisis, which has brought the world to a halt. Some public universities have sent out communications to their students informing them that they can only sit for their exams when the institutions are fully reopened. President Kenyatta is this weekend expected to announce a decision on when the institutions can regain normalcy. You have heard of proverbs, an empty vessel is the devil's workshop. But then again, too much work with no play makes Jack a dull boy. This brings us to this week's parental tips segment on managing learning at home. But today we look at fun and entertaining things to do with your kids following closure of schools due to the COVID-19 crisis. So what is one of the fun things that we are going to do, children and parents both at home? Schedule in some easy indoor activities. Indoor activities can be a lifetime of fun and a way to quietly entertain children now that they're at home. These activities do not need to be complicated or take up hours to set up or even too much income. For example, toy washing basin. I believe most of us have done this. Let your kids wash their toys, play with bubbles. You remember they used to just dip something in the water and then blow bubbles in the air. Yes, kids love doing that, so let them have that. Something else they can do for fun also is sticky matchup. Draw shapes, draw letters, draw numbers, draw words or math problem on sticky notes and hide them around the house. Yes, hide them around the house for your child to find them. And then when they do, you can request them to match up on a key or something that you've hung on the wall. Remember yesterday when we were looking at setting up a space for your child to study, we talked about having something on the side where they can be able to stick the timetable or a reminder on what they have to do next. So this is where this child is going to stick something once they find it in the house. Another fun thing that we can do with our children is make screen time routine. If you choose to have screens available, this again depends on the house policy of each house. If screens are available to your kids, use them wisely, but as a parental tip. Use them wisely as a parental tip. Remember, we were looking at parental tips on nurturing values in children, but this time we are looking at a parent. Let them watch television, but use it as a parental tool. How to keep kids from overindulging on screens? You should, as a parent, make screen time predictable. Have a set time in the schedule so children know when to expect screen time. For example, maybe after the first sessions from 8 to 11, they have screen time from 11 to 2 or 11 to 12:30 or 1, etc. Making the screen time predictable. And then once they're done with the screen, turn it off. Yes, you have to turn it off as a parent, because sometimes when you leave and just request them to turn it off and the program is very interesting, I'm thinking about Tom and Jerry, and it really catches my attention personally. But when it gets too much, remember, these kids will not be able to switch off the television. So you as a parent, is your responsibility to take up the role of switching off this television. But of course, even with this most perfectly planned schedule, you will still have days when you just can't muster the energy to come up with even the simplest of activities. Instead, let them watch another episode. Yes, let them watch another episode of their favorite show as you think on what you are going to indulge them in next. Another fun activity you can indulge with your child is baking. Yes, most of us have a heart for baking, me included. Most of us love a spot for baking, especially over the weekends or during the weekday if you have ample time with your child. So learn how to bake, teach them how to bake. I mean, we can never run out of chefs in this country and good cooks. Yes, so this is a way of nurturing good children or good kitchen skills in our children. Then again, get stuck into a craft kit. Get stuck into a craft kit. This is also a way of entertaining our children when they are at home. Craft kits are most affordable. Yes, I'm talking about the most affordable ones, not the expensive ones. From looking after the garden in the kitchen, if you have one, to molding clay, to paintings, to sewing, etc, etc. But when you talk about sewing, remember to just use the friendly sewing kits, especially if it's for young children, so that they don't get cut or pricked by needles. Take a virtual tour is the second last bit we're going to look at today for entertaining our children at home. With museums, galleries, and zoos closed due to the COVID-19 to the public, you may take up ideas of visiting these places, but this time we are talking about virtually, yes, through the use of these devices. But now you can take a virtual tour to all the favorite places. Name them: Masai Mara, the Lake Naivasha, the Nairobi Safari Walk, name them, etc, etc, from the comfort of your own living room. And the last tip of the day is listening to some stories together. Here at Edu Channel, we do offer story time, so please stay tuned with your child. I'll be giving you a timetable so that you can know when to slot in a story time with your child. I know it's a downside to having COVID-19, but looking at this, I think it's an upside for parents to bond with their children and be able to communicate better with them. Now let's have a look at the rest of our noon timetable. At 2 to 2:30 we'll be having Kiswahili. Kwa wanafunzi wa darasa la 5 tutakuwa tukiangalia kusikiliza na kuzungumza kama mada kuu, mada ndogo ikiwa shairi. 2:30 to 3 social studies for class 8 students or candidates. Will be looking at industries in our motherland, Kenya, nowhere else, just in our motherland in Kenya. 3:05 to 3:35 history and government for Form 1 students. Will be looking at the Agikoyo in the 19th century. 3:35 to 4:05 mathematics for Form 3 students. Will be looking at the topic of commercial arithmetic. Income tax is the specific topic of the day. 4:10 to 4:40 physics for our candidates in Form 4. We'll be looking at application of electromagnetic induction. Please stay tuned, our dear candidates, for this year. 4:45 to 5:15 we have chemistry for Form 2 students, and our topic for the day is structure and bonding. Geography Form 3 coming right at you from 5:20 to 5:50, and we'll be looking at oceans, seas, and their coast. Our specific topic of the day being on wave deposition. Please stay tuned for that geography lesson. Biology Form 1 5:55 to 6:25, we'll be looking at cell physiology, specifically on water retention. 6:30 to 7 o'clock we have Kiswahili for Form 2 students. Tutakuwa tukiangazia semi, methali na vitendawili. Semi, methali na vitendawili. Kisha baadaye at 7:05 to 7:35 we have story time, just like I promised. Yes, parents and children, this is the time for you to sit up and belt up for an interesting story with your child. And the last session of the day is from 7:40 to 8:10, and here is the author say on blossoms of the savannah. That will end the day's lessons for today.